What's going through your mind right now?
Shit, we lost.
Come back next year?
Shit, we'll see what's happening. But look, I'll say like this though, right? It's a vulnerable time for a lot of these young dudes, you feel me? They don't be taking care of their chicken right, you feel me? So, if it was me, or if I had an opportunity to let these little young sahibs know something, I say take care of y'all money, African, because that shit don't last forever. Now, I done been on the other side of retirement, and it's good when you get over there and you can do what the fuck you want to. So, I tell y'all right now, while y'all in it, take care of y'all bread. So when y'all done, go ahead and take care of yourself. So while y'all at it right now, take care of y'all bodies, you know what I mean? Don't take care of y'all chicken, you feel me? Don't take care of y'all mentals, because look, we ain't lasting that long. You know, I had a couple of players that I played with that, you know what I mean? They no longer here no more, they no longer. So, I mean, you feel me? Start taking care of y'all mentals, y'all bodies, and y'all chicken for when y'all, you know, ready to walk away. You walk away and you be able to do what you want to do. But I appreciate it. Thank y'all. What was it?
This is a Silk exclusive.
Welcome to another episode of Words, Music, Dance. I'm your host as always, Paulie the Bull. No relation to Gravano. You already know what it is. Shout out to everybody watching. Shout out to everybody listening. All the podcast apps, all the distribution services, all that good stuff. You are appreciated. You already know what it is. Every time, every day. You know, 2020 don't change.
Deposit checks.
Hey. Keep that on. Keep that on. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But, you know. Gotta upgrade the times, you know what I mean? New equipment, new, you know, 2020, new year, new me. You know what I'm saying?
Do the ads, do the ads.
Not yet. They coming. They emailing, but you know what I mean? All jokes aside, back here, got the homie Jared back once again.
Yeah, will do.
Been a minute, first time on 2020.
That's true, damn.
Been
all year, man.
Yeah.
Took all year for you to get me here.
Yeah. Anybody you want to shout out to?
Shout out to everybody, man.
True.
Shout out to everybody.
Yeah, that's the easy answer when you don't want, because you know you want to say one name.
I like my boy Kyrie. I don't want to single nobody.
True. That's smart.
I respect that.
And then to the far left, first time to the show. Long time homie.
Yes.
Gus.
It's been long overdue.
Yes, sir.
Pleasure to be on the show, finally.
Pleasure to have you, man.
Let's do it.
Today we got some topics that I knew you'd be great for.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's right in your wheelhouse.
Bread and butter right here.
You know what I'm saying? We gonna get to the MLB scandal and stuff later. Mm-hmm. But before we start, you want to give any shout outs? You want to put your social media out there so we can know where to find you at?
Yes. Instagram _G_LED. Mm-hmm. Has nothing to do with the light that's shining on us, but yeah, man, just give me a follow. I'll follow back.
True. And if you don't agree with anything he says, that's where you can let him know.
Yeah.
Get at him about that.
Straight to the block list. Straight to the block list.
Right.
That's it.
But, you know, before we get started, well, we're going to get started with it. This past Sunday, because this airs Wednesday, obviously. This past Sunday, the NFC and AFC championship games have ended.
Yep.
We now know the two teams that will be in the Super Bowl.
We do.
One of them is the Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to be there. But more importantly,
I don't know, something about this hat over here.
the San Francisco 49ers are back in the big game, baby. Back in the big game. All right.
First time in like 7 years?
We back. 7
years?
It was in 2013. Last time we was there, we played those Baltimore Ravens.
That was a fun game. I'm sure you guys enjoyed it.
So these guys turned the lights out and they still lost.
That was all Beyonce. We do not know what happened to them lights. Well, we lost because it was a pass interference not called in the end zone.
Here we go.
We don't need to delve back into the past.
You know what I mean? New Orleans Saints over here.
New year, new me. We gonna talk about the future.
Gotta be very careful. Remember, Aaron Hernandez is not the only one that was out there gunning people.
True.
And Ray's sitting out here like,
what you say about that?
And that was the thing. game. He had the big brace on his arm. He was, you know what I mean? But we're not, like I said, we don't want to dwell on the past. We don't want to dwell on the past. We don't want to dwell on the past.
They're not really checking for that stuff to see what's on there.
No.
It looked a little puffier than it normally
But
does.
we're in a different era now. We have the biggest races in the NFL history.
Listen, the NFL itself is racist. So it was like, listen, one
just fits right in.
Two brothers that sent some tweets out is like small change compared to the whole league. You know what I mean? But we're not gonna go into that. We're not gonna get into that.
That's we start with that. We'll never finish.
Yes, correct. But what did y'all think of the championship games? Both games, Chiefs and Titans, and Niners. And let's start with the Chiefs and Titans game. So, how did y'all think that game went? Was it what you expected?
I don't think it's a stretch to point out the losing team. Derrick Henry is probably top 5 running backs in the NFL right now.
He's a cheat code.
Yeah,
he's a creative player. He's like what 6'4".
Bro, he was taller than everybody on the field.
Yeah, like every position. Like, to be the running back, it's just giving the ball.
Even the lineman looking at him like, I'm sorry, Dad.
It's when you're 6'4", well 6'3", 6'4", 240.
So
running a sub 4.5, 40. That's it's a little rough for defenses.
Right.
I think Kansas City did a good job trying to contain them.
They did.
I mean, it contained them enough.
69 yards.
19 carries.
19 carries.
Right. They definitely knew that was the game plan. Like that was.
I mean, this guy's been lighting up. Well, he had 4 straight games with over 150 rushing yards.
Let's skip past that.
Including against.
It was past that.
Entertaining game. You know, the Chiefs defense again showed up. I think they're probably not spoken about as much as they should. They came in, like you said, they had a game plan, stopping the run. That was number one priority.
Right.
You had your boy Tannehill with 160 passing yards.
One time he actually throws over 100. They
lose the game.
Right.
But
they needed more from him because they stopped Henry, so he had to, you know what I'm saying? And they wasn't focusing on him. So it was like, he's gonna get those because he's they coming up for Henry. Yeah. He's throwing over top of those lines. So
Tannehill had a lot of bad mistakes.
Yes.
I was like, why are you throwing it? Especially like if you see the pressure, why are you throwing it to your man 3 yards? Like throw it at his feet. Make sure he ain't catching it. Because as soon I seen a couple of plays where he threw it. I think it was Brown or somebody caught it, and as soon as he caught it, he turned and said, "Ah, shit!" The man gets smacked. Right. And it's a 3-yard loss. And now you got 2nd and 13 or whatever.
I mean,
bad spots. He's putting them in bad situations to not be able to gain any yards and get hurt and possibly get injured over that.
Sometimes it's better just throw the ball away instead of trying to extend the play. Right. Because after a certain amount of time that you're, going as you go deeper into the play. Chances are you're not going to really find somebody that's open. It's better just throw the ball away and avoid yourself and getting one of your wide receivers hurt.
Right. And then the primetime game of the night, the later game was the Packers and 49ers. Was that what y'all expected?
I actually was out. I was out celebrating something, and I could look at the score and I was like, I didn't need to watch this. I kind of expected that was going to happen because it happened earlier. I didn't see it. I didn't see it going to be any different because the playoffs. They killed them the first time. I didn't see they was going to do any better.
Yeah, I had the feeling that they was going to, like I said, it was going to be some zebra shirt wearing influence to help the game be a little closer.
But when
it didn't happen. It was like they're really that. It's that far apart. Sports is about matchups, and and certain matchups are just not. And it was like that match. It was like nothing that anybody could do could change the outcome of that game. Like it was.
Listen, man, they need to, from a Packers perspective, they need to find that bad man some help.
Yeah. Well, this is the first year with that coach. Yeah. So we'll see if they can build off of what happened this year and and go from there and be better.
Niners were cutting through that defense.
Well, that defense is real, man. That defense is real.
I literally felt that loss for Ant. Shout out to Ant.
Shout out to the big Ant.
I felt that loss because like I said, I didn't see it, but I saw the stat line. I saw the man had 200 and something rushing yards.
Yeah. So
but I saw that.
Shout out to him for sure. I mean,
he showed up.
He was cut by 6 teams prior to this. He was even now he was the third man on our depth chart.
Starting this year, when the year started,
McKinnon was hurt, so it was Breida, Coleman, Mostert, and then he slowly just got up there, and he was the guy. So
he's gonna be the feature back next year.
It looks that way. I mean, McKinnon is coming back eventually.
Yeah.
And they paying McKinnon a lot of money.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have to work that in somehow, some way, because now we got like 4. I think we got 5 running backs on contract. So somebody's gonna have to either just take that role as being kick returner and live with that, or gonna want to go somewhere else. But,
there's gonna be a lot of competition coming out of camp. Again, you don't know what you're getting back from McKinnon. He's missed a hell of a lot of time.
Exactly.
So you don't know
hard to
where
trade
he's gonna
him because of the money and the injury and keeping him. Is like we got to play him and we paying him that.
Yeah.
But if he's a liability, can't do it.
Yeah, but then again, who do you remove the playtime from? You got Tevin Coleman, who came here looking at this job as an opportunity to finally start. After being under Devontae Freeman and all that stuff. So he's gonna get his touches.
And he got hurt in the game as well. So hope he gets better. He got hurt during that game, but I think the start of the season, Coleman was the one, and Breida was the 2. But then Breida has slowly outshined him, and Mostert was just.
And then Mostert just kept rising.
Because Breida got hurt. When Breida got hurt, it was Coleman and Mostert, but then Mostert always just outshined.
Always find a way out there. I mean, he has good hands. He catches the ball out of the backfield. And, and bro, like just the scheme that you guys are running as far as blocking, and just
I mean, we got the fullback. We got tight ends. Like it's a lot of protection, and they open up the holes and just go. And so
arguably, you have the best blocking fullback and the best blocking tight end. And Kittle and Jukic, whatever his name is, but
the former Raven.
We all remember that.
He's in the right place right now.
We all hope
eternally he is.
We all help each other out.
Right. Let me hold that.
But I mean, dude had 200-something rushing yards on that defense. I was having PTSD. I was thinking about Derrick Henry, man, with that 194 against my Ravens. Before that, I was like,
and it's different. Henry was like carrying people. Mostert was barely being touched. It was like the gates was just opening up, and he was just like.
By the time it almost feels like by the time that he has anyone notice that he has the ball,
he's way downfield.
15 yards.
It's the safeties. The safeties are like,
he has 15 yards downfield.
Right.
It makes it tough. It's gonna be. I mean, overall the game, I feel like it's gonna be a great Super Bowl. It's gonna be very entertaining.
So we got 2. Paralleling styles, opposing styles.
Great defense, which is a great offense.
Right. A quarterback who some are saying is the best quarterback in the game right now. Some are saying that. I think it's prisoner of the moment, but we can go into that a little bit too. And then we got on the other side just a team. The run scenario, and Garoppolo only having to throw 8 passes in that game. We know he can do more. He probably will have to do more.
So that Saints game,
he exactly. And there was a couple of games. I mean, the Saints game, both Seattle games, he was asked to step up. The Cardinals game, he had to, because we was actually down. We had to come back. When you're down, you're gonna pass more. So a lot of people still doubt Garoppolo. How do you guys feel about him going into the Super Bowl? I do. I'm not even gonna lie. I doubted him in the beginning of the season. As a Niners fan, he had the leg injury. It was still he was. I think he had only started like 7-8 games.
The contract that he was given.
It was a lot of money. And then, like I said, he got hurt within the first 2-3 games last season. So this season, I didn't know if he was going to even be the starter from game 1. It was a lot of question marks in the beginning of the season. I put it out there. I thought we was only going to get about 4 or 5 wins this year. I'm not even going to lie.
I mean, ESPN projected you guys to have
like 3 or something like that.
13.
And I was like, no, look at 5. You know what I mean? I was
wishful thinking.
Young, because like I said, McKinnon was out. We had lost Marquise Goodwin, our top receiver. I didn't know we were going to trade for Emmanuel Sanders. We didn't know what Debo. We didn't know what Bourne. We didn't know. It was a lot of question marks. Garoppolo coming back off the injury. Like I said, running back by committee. Who's hot?
You also had Kittle getting hurt.
Kittle, right? He got midway through the season. So it was a lot of question marks. And again, like I said, when you look at the beginning of our season, I didn't know the Steelers were going to not have Roethlisberger.
Right.
I thought the Browns were going to start hot and then fall off. They started out bad. So a lot of the teams we played early, I was still like, all right, we getting the good breaks here.
Yeah.
But then when we went toe-to-toe, like you said, toe-to-toe with the Saints, we went toe-to-toe with some top teams, and I was like, I'm all in now. Like, I'm here. We overachieved. Even to this day, I can say it as a Niners fan, if we were to lose the Super Bowl, I'm okay with it.
You have to take this season as a win, bro.
Young team, we overachieved.
Yeah.
If we build on this, that's why I think I talked to you about that. I want to keep our coordinator, defensive coordinator, solid. I want to keep what we have because I feel like we can still do this for a couple more years before we just blow it up and everybody disperse or whatever.
It's a good foundation. You have a lot of solid starters that are still on rookie contracts, so you have to take advantage of this window because with the way that the contracts are working out in the NFL, it's going to be tough for a lot of these teams to keep their teams together.
Right.
You're seeing that with a lot of different teams. Like the Ravens also went young.
Yeah.
Brought in a couple of veterans towards the later stages of their careers that have helped out, but. It's hard, the window for the Niners is now. If you don't make it this year, use this year as a foundation, move forward to next year.
We got about 2-3 years that we got to really capitalize. Especially making the Super Bowl this year, it's like next year, it's we got to do it now.
Yeah,
we sure we can do it.
Again, it's Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah,
that's it.
And that's where we're at right now. The bar is up there.
Yeah.
So what do y'all feel about this game? How do y'all think it's going to play out? What do we got? We got Chiefs at Niners.
In Miami.
So it's neutral territory, good weather. They got like a dome now in Miami now, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's a dome, so it's not even just the little breeze.
They did a lot of work.
It's indoor, it's indoor. It's perfect conditions. So.
I can remember that Super Bowl where it was Colts and Bears, and that was a monster.
Right.
That shit was trash.
Field, they were playing on mud, basically.
Yeah. Which we played great in some mud. So we slowed your team down in that bad weather. We played the Redskins in terrible weather, and we were sliding all on the field, and so we do play better in that. But
it was literally the Browns against the Browns.
Right. Mud. Who? I don't know who is who.
Couldn't see a double of the jerseys.
Right. You trying to memorize faces through the helmet. Like, I think that's
Throw it up.
who's going again. Yeah.
I think I was about to say
right.
Throw it up to somebody who will catch it.
But perfect conditions in the Florida weather. Who y'all got? What we got here?
You want to go first?
Who we got? Give me some picks. Talk to me.
So back to the thing that you brought up with the conflicting styles. So I was reading up on my way here. This is the second Super Bowl in history that you have the number one Russian defense versus Russian offense versus the number one passing offense in the NFL. Okay. This is the second time this has happened. Super Bowl 6, I think, was just the first time it happened.
Okay.
So. Yeah, man, there's different styles. I think both defenses are solid. Saleh has done an amazing job with your defense. A lot of young guys there. And like I said, the Chiefs, their defense is kind of underrated. I mean, you have a lot of guys in there that they brought in as cast-offs from other teams. You got Frank Clark. You got Chris Jones that went in there. You got so
T-Sizzle.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. It's gonna be a good game. I think. The X factor in the game is going to be Mahomes. What do they do to Mahomes? Can they rush him and make him uncomfortable? Because I think if he gets comfortable in the pocket, it's going to be the Chiefs. But I'm probably going to rock with your boys, bro. I think the Niners have the good enough defense and the fact that they have a more consistent running game is going to help them in the case that Garoppolo is struggling. I'm not confident with Kansas City's running game. Same thing, running back by committee. Have about 3 guys out there, and the best one has been Shady, in his upper 30s. So I don't.
Right, and he's been out of the game. I think he's like nagging injuries.
So basically, I mean, if you take away Mahomes' game, you rush him early, get him out of the pocket. I don't know how they're going to be able to come back into that game. They have a lot of weapons on offense, but But I'm still going with the Niners, man.
You want to give us a score? You got a score?
It's going to be a high-scoring game.
Okay.
I would probably say 35-31.
Okay.
Niners. That's a good guess.
So he's on record.
That's on record.
All right. Jared, talk to me.
I remember in the group text, me, you, and Tyrone, I know I was...
Fam.
I was...
Shout out to Ty.
I know I was definitely making an argument for your boys.
But
before I realized saying fuck both of y'all, because my teammate there.
Okay. So we getting the hate pick right now?
Yeah, we'll get the hate pick right now.
Okay.
But honestly, I think the Niners can pull it out. And the reason, but I'm gonna, because Gus picked the Niners, I'm gonna say Kansas City.
Okay.
But
good.
Just so we can reference back.
Okay, that works.
Just so somebody has to be right.
I like Skip and Shannon.
Just like somebody has to be right.
Stephen A. and Max over here. Okay,
Skill. Like, you got some little diet, Mountain Dews after this.
Right.
Okay. I mean, like, so Kansas City can't do two things.
Okay.
In order to win this game. They can't do the same shit they've been doing the past couple weeks, which is a slow start.
Yeah.
If they have a slow start against that defense, it's over.
Yeah.
Because the 49 defense doesn't get tired like that. Like they don't.
We all young. They all young.
They don't,
Sherman's the oldest one, and
they don't. They don't slow down like how Houston's defense was beat up.
Yeah.
And Tennessee's defense is good, but just how good Mahomes gets as the time goes on.
You need impact players.
He just destroys like that. But the Niners are a great defense, and that's undeniable. So they can't have a slow start again because even though they're a second quarter and on team, if they can keep it close, then we'll see what happens from that. Also, Kansas City has to run the ball better.
Yeah.
Because literally, Mahomes is the leading rusher.
That's it.
Like how Lamar Jackson was our leading rusher. Mahomes is the leading rusher, and I really can't think who the hell is their running back because he can't even get anywhere by like 3 yards down the field. Tyreek Hill has to catch the ball. I trust Kelsey, and you have to find another receiver.
Yeah.
That's gonna help. Extend that field.
I mean, the crazy thing is, like, they've had a couple of these younger guys that have stepped up at a certain point of the season. Like, you got Hardman that put up a couple of good games, but they need weapons, man. They need somebody to step it up.
They need everybody. This is the last game. You got to play your heart out. On defense, they've got better as time has gone on. Honey Badger, I can't remember Matthew. He was doing his work yesterday against Tennessee, Sunday against Tennessee because I didn't realize the Titans receivers, they're all large dudes. They're not shortstops. Right?
I think Brown is their shortest guy. He's like 6'1".
They're
all tall receivers.
Like those dudes are stock, and like he was holding his own. So. He does his thing. I mean, I expect him to do his thing. The front four has to get pressure against Garoppolo and just contain Mostert.
Yeah,
that's it. If they can contain Mostert and make Garoppolo actually pick them apart, then I actually kind of like the Chiefs on that.
Yeah.
So I would say 38-35.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be a high
field goal.
It's going to be a high scoring game.
38-34 Chiefs.
It's going to be a high scoring game. Like he said, I mean, the first half is going to set the tone. We're going to see how Kansas City comes off because they need to get started right away.
Right. Yeah.
From the whistle. First whistle, you got to get started. They
can't slack.
Can't let Mostert go out there and have 3 touchdowns first quarter and think you're going to come back into that.
That's definitely going to set the tone because we're gonna see early if Mostert can repeat. Or if Jimmy's going to have to do some work.
Yeah.
Also, Jimmy took a big hit to the knee, to his recovering knee in that game. So we got to see 2 weeks to ice that, and he should be good on that. But he was he looked a little limpy after that hit. So that was another reason why they didn't let him. He was 6 for 8 in that game, 77 yards.
And that's all they needed.
That was it. Even I think in the second half he threw like 2 passes, but it was like just to get the first down. Yeah. It was just that. So I think Jimmy's gonna have to do some work. He's gonna definitely work a little more this game. I'm obviously biased,
of course,
but to keep it real, it's definitely gonna come down to the tight ends. Both teams are gonna definitely not let the receivers go off.
Yeah.
Kansas City likes to go deep. We like to throw short.
Yeah.
But it's definitely going to come down to the tight ends because those are both team's playmakers.
Yeah.
Kelsey versus
Kittle. That's going to be the main.
About as good a matchup as you could get.
Yeah, who can really shine on that side of the ball. And like I said, I think this is going to have to be the game Garoppolo gets everyone to say, okay, he's worth the money he's getting.
Yeah.
You know, this is going to be that game because I feel like, obviously with Henry versus the Chiefs defense, it was just tackle him.
Right.
This time it's the line protecting Mostert or whoever running at the time. So he may get it unless they can get to those gaps and stop him. We'll see. But Jimmy's gonna have to get involved and he's got to do so, and they're gonna try to pressure him. He can't make silly mistakes, and he's prone to throwing some bad throws too. So if he can clock manage or at least do that and not be the cause, I think we're good to go.
I mean, the Niners probably have the most consistent offensive and defensive line play in the playoffs.
I think we have the best team on paper now after this whole season.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of a lot of people stressing he only threw 8 passes, but there's games where running backs only run 8 times.
Yeah, you don't need to.
We don't the game now is not just the quarterback and the game now is whoever's hot.
It's not Madden.
It's not right. Like you said, Lamar is your team's leading rusher. Mahomes is his team's leading rusher. Like the quarterback is different now.
Yeah.
So you can get through a game going 6 or 8, and I think they still hold on to the quarterback position has to throw.
Yeah.
But it's like, dude, when he's running like that, you just keep until you stop it.
There's not much you can do.
Until you stop us.
If this was Madden, then everybody in the 49ers would have been a 75.
Pretty much.
And by the time they got to here, everybody's 95.
Right. After all the XP goes up and whoever you're playing against will rage quit.
The weekly progression.
But imagine playing against somebody that's running a running play every time and you can't stop it. You're throwing the controller.
Yeah.
You're throwing the controller.
I would rage quit. That's that rage quit.
So we will come back to this. We got their picks. He's going Chiefs.
Yeah.
He's going Niners. Yep. You know where I'm at. Tell us, comment below. Let us know who you got. We got 2 weeks, so this may come up again in conversation, but we definitely going to revisit it at that point.
That's one championship game.
I'm not going anywhere to watch the game. I don't want to be around people. I was around people during that game against our time, and they was worried about Beyonce at halftime, and I'm like, I don't care when we're losing.
Yeah.
I can't be around people, whether we're up or down. I'm just too, So I'm going to be home.
Yeah.
I'm going to be away. I can't be around nobody. But what, y'all got any plans? Are y'all gonna be partying? Or?
Still trying to figure it out. Still got a couple weeks to figure out what to do. Man, I love watching it in the atmosphere of having people there.
Yeah, talk shit I do too when it's somebody else's team. I don't mind. Oh, this is a great game. It's close. When it's close, I'm pacing back and forth. So I no, I can't enjoy it. When my team is in the game, I can't enjoy it. I'm thinking I'm in the locker room. All right, we got to pass better. We got to do. You see, he missed that block. We got to get. That's me. I can't watch my team in the big game and enjoy it. Like I don't care about J-Lo, Shakira. I don't care. I'm like, this is a long halftime. Like, come on, we gotta get. I'm trying to get the clock moving.
My voice is getting colder.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's just my mindset. But what about you? You got any plans?
I work that night.
Oh, okay. He's like, I'll be busy. I work. Getting ESPN alerts on it. Speaking of winning the whole thing, the week prior we had the NCAA championship game.
Yep.
Shout out to LSU for winning that. Shout out to Burroughs for looking great, breaking records, doing the thing. But the biggest story was former LSU alumni Odell Beckham Jr. Twinkle Toes himself, the dancing receiver, one-handed catch.
Mr. Wake up.
Yeah, Mr. Sexual Healing himself.
Sexual Healing.
He was first in the news for.
Let me see it. Let me see it.
Odell, what's about the heart of these guys? What's this game say about the heart of these guys?
Handing out money to the team after they won a championship game.
That the school went on to cover up and say it wasn't the real money.
Right.
Only for then dumbass Joe snitching at Burrow to say, I ain't gonna be here no more. That shit real.
It was real money.
He pulled the Magic Johnson.
I'm not gonna be here. Right. Like
I ain't gonna be
he
here.
combined Tekashi 6ix9ine and Magic. Like,
He's out, bro.
Not only did he
He's out.
say that, he didn't say I don't know nothing. I'm not gonna be here. No more. He just said I'm not gonna be here.
My man is
That was
busy.
real money.
My man is busy looking for a place to live in Cincinnati.
Yeah,
He's not worrying about,
he-
he's not worrying about what's going on in the body.
He was smoking cigars in the back. He looked like I graduated. I'm done.
Yeah, he was sold out. He was sold out.
Like
He
I'm
was sold
done
out.
here. This is not my problem no more.
My man was taking ballroom dancing classes at LSU. He's like 24, bro.
He's like, I'm not gonna be here
He's not
long.
thinking about that life.
I'm
man.
going pro, like, you know. But yeah, he dropped dime on Odell, giving him more real money. We all know about the NCAA rules and the money and all that stuff is. But then to further things in the news, Odell had an arrest warrant out for him for.
Hey man, D. Lou finna go to jail, y'all.
Hey, you nailed that bitch down. Hey. Hey, what about the big ugly, Dave? Let's talk.
No! Hey man! Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Lord.
The security guard was in the locker room because they was wilding out back there. They was smoking cigars.
Does anyone know why the security guard was in there?
That's what I was asking. Was it because of the cigar smoke?
It was because of apparently because of smoke, and he didn't want to send up the sprinklers, whatever.
Got it.
Because I was gonna ask that same thing. So y'all think it's because the smoke, or because obviously they pop champagne and cause a ruckus. So I'm like,
However, you never even see that. You never see that even during a professional game where they really are of age use smoke.
I've
like
never
that.
seen security.
You
So
don't
that
see them
was
really-
interesting in
it was-
itself.
I mean, for me, he had money on Clemson.
All right, calm down, guys. Calm down, guys. You bunch, you lost money on y'all. It's like, calm down. Like, gotta bring it down. And as he's trying to bring order, Odell just went up behind him and then started dancing.
It was so,
and you know, and it was just like it was classic Odell. I mean, to be awkward and do some flagrantly suspect moves. That's Odell.
So the first step into like Odell's evolution was the walking down the runway. To the Drake song.
Yes,
that was wrong, Odell.
And dancing in Drake's backyard.
I defended you for many years. Listen, I'm going to talk to you. Odell.
Talk to him.
As a Giants fan,
Zoom on this.
I defended you for many years, Odell. Mm-hmm. Enough is enough. First, I had to stick by you with the runway. Then you had Rogers Cromartie.
When I get that feeling, I want that.
Now you're doing this, Odell. Listen, you're a Cleveland Brown now. Mm-hmm. Enough is enough. It's time to grow up, buddy.
You also had the incident where he was a Giant and I forgot what team it was, but he was giving that, and then homeboy bent over. He was like, whatever, walked off.
It's been a lot of
sus shit. I mean,
been a lot of questions.
granted, I have no problem with the alphabet community.
Right.
Yes.
Shout out to anybody that watches.
No
listening.
problem with this at all.
Shout out to y'all.
However, it's just
Don't forget the hotel room incident.
Oh,
with him and the girl on the hotel bed and some white substance on the pizza boxes, whatever that made.
Stop being messy, man. Listen, everybody's entitled to living their life however way they want.
Parmesan, right? But she shouldn't have been snapping it. He got to check anybody he's involved with or having relations
at
with.
that point, we were just happy. It was just happy as a girl.
Seriously.
At that point, we were just happy as a girl.
Give me your phone. Give me your phone. But so Odell just being Odell again.
It was how he did the security guard.
Yeah, like I said, he looked.
He was like, oh boy.
He was back. He thought he was in Magic City or he was in Starlets. Like he didn't know where he was at. Like
could it continue?
Nah,
he was like he's giving out money. He slapped his booty.
It was bodyguard to him.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
it was bodyguard.
and I get it. Excitement.
Yeah.
You an alumni. Your team won again. They haven't won since he was there. Since him and did they win before?
No, they haven't. They haven't won.
Oh, they didn't win that year. Okay.
No, they haven't won since 03.
Okay.
03 was the last time they won.
Okay. So yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
As an alumni, I'm all for it. I'm all for the the graduates coming back, still showing the pride. Because again, a lot of players come and go early, and they check out. Like Burrows, he's like, I don't care about the team no more. Like, I don't care about the school.
He's taking bold dancing. That's his only class.
Right. So shout out to Odell for caring and showing some love to the youngins,
being involved.
But he could have given that money off camera. He could wait till they got off the field to do that.
Especially if he knows this is that era where everything is recorded.
Right.
NCAA.
He's back in the camera.
I have a message for you.
Message.
Allow my boy Reggie Bush to come back to USC.
Okay.
And that's big.
All right.
And that's big.
It's been about 7-8 years since you guys banned him from coming back to USC. It is time.
It's time.
Free my boy Reggie.
Free Reggie. Wait, not free Reggie as in like the.
He's not locked up. Free Reggie.
That's an interesting thing too. Like that, he's still going through that. So no charges pressed against Odell.
Yeah.
They haven't said any more about him giving the money. Are they still pursuing anything with that, or?
I mean, if it hasn't been spoken about, I assume it's because an investigation is taking place.
Because I mean, granted, he wasn't a booster. We don't know if there was a prior. Right, they never take money.
Yeah. So the NCAA,
unless the whole team steps out of school. And they old boroughs was like, okay, they weren't classmates anymore.
So I feel the some of the players that the money was given to are the players that have since declared to the draft.
Right.
So now the investigation's probably going to go, further than that to see what players received what and which players did not.
And they got to see who. Right. They got to see who took it, who was on camera, who can prove that took it, who's still there that took it. Because again, everybody was declining. The school was covering up until Burroughs was smoking up a cigar. He was on somebody's podcast, radio show, something like that. He was just talking, just dropping dimes.
Listen, man, I'm pretty sure he had a long night at Bourbon Street, so he didn't really care what was going on at that point. But yeah, I mean, the NCAA does not allow any type of gifts or any type of benefits. I remember there was an incident in 2002 with LeBron's mom gifting LeBron. I think it was like a Hummer. And that was being investigated, even though LeBron was still a high school player. But it's
he actually missed games for that too.
Yeah,
he missed a couple games. He got suspended for that. Missed a couple games and then played for the championship game and stuff. And
I believe that he had a silent commitment to Ohio State at some point. So that was kind of like they were kind of investigating whether an Ohio State booster was trying to persuade him to come into Ohio State instead of going to the NBA, which everyone knew that wasn't going to happen. But yeah, the NCAA they've stood pretty firm on their rules, but they've just been very they haven't been clear enough as to when to enforce those rules. I think certain schools have gotten away with murder. Literally, University of Miami.
Yes. Hey, we all know your man.
Yeah, you have Penn State. You have Penn State with their scandals. You have North Carolina University with the cheating scandals. Rashad McCants playing Tekashi 6ix9ine. But I mean, we'll have to see what's going to happen to LSU. Hopefully they take some action.
Your boys got screwed. No USC.
Yeah, we were given the modern day death penalty. We got the harshest sanctions since SMU in '83. So, so yeah, I mean, it's hopefully they do their justice. This is, on camera. He's gifting players, whether or not they're declare for the draft. You're still a college athlete until you forfeit your amateurship. So yeah, I mean,
and it's bad because they're actually going through the process of trying to pay them. California State now approves it, so schools in California are going to pay them. And they're in the middle of figuring out going the whole NCAA with it, and this kind of hurts that process of before they even get started. So
yeah, I think a lot of the states have actually voted for that too because they've agreed to it. But there's a lot of things to figure out when it comes out to how to pay them, what to pay them for,
and then different states got different tax laws. There's a lot to figure out. I mean, it's and then. Similarly, because even the NFL, all sports, which I didn't know until ESPN 30 for 30 broke, you got to pay the taxes in every state that you play in for that season. So it's like, okay, these kids now got to fill out tax forms for working abroad and
every state that they play
every state they play in. So it's like now,
whoever their accountant is,
now you got to have an accountant in school to monitor the money, or do you just have the NCAA just keep it a flat rate around. And everything. Like you got to figure that, but then it's still going to be he's getting this much because if you play in California, you got more schools than somebody that's playing like Idaho. They got one school that's
that will hurt, but then that will also hurt schools doing scheduling. Because,
right.
You know, they all
you have schools bypassing other schools.
They're like, I would play y'all,
right. Right.
I ain't trying to pay that tax though.
Right.
But,
so
then you have schools in Florida benefiting because there's no I think there's no state tax. So you have certain players. I think the easiest way to which is I believe the reason why this hasn't been figured out, it's easier for other sports because there is some type of union. You have the players associations. There's no such thing in college sports because they're just amateur athletes. So once they figure out who's going to represent the players, that's probably when the negotiations are going to move forward. It's a lot of stuff to figure out in there. I just honestly just want the video games to come back, man.
That's true. And then they can put a current athlete on the cover, not this kid that just graduated. That game sold a lot too. It was missed, but we'll see what happens with that. Odell, what do y'all think he's gonna do next season though?
He gonna fuck up. That's what
I mean, according to his conversation with Garoppolo that was caught by camera.
Oh yes,
because this guy is not shy of being on camera, doing more stuff than he should be. He said, "Don't worry about it, I'll be here."
I forgot about that.
Come get me.
Come get me. He said, "Come get me." And allegedly he said it to a couple of.
But then he went to when they went to Seattle. He went
right. He said it to a couple of teams, "Come get me." So he wants out of Cleveland already.
Yeah.
Is that a Baker thing?
Right. We all know his relationship with quarterbacks
isn't the best.
Yeah. So we don't know. Because
it sound familiar.
His best friend is there, Landry. So it ain't him.
Well, Landry was also part of the come get me crew.
Right. So apparently both of them want out. I don't know if they want to get a package deal or what, but.
Because they realize Cleveland is Cleveland, no matter what. No matter who.
I think
remember Joakim Noah said, what did he say when he was like playing there? And it was like, what do you do here? Like,
who the hell
come to Cleveland? Like,
what is there to
I think Odell realized it, which is probably why he wilded out at the LSU game because
so much fun.
He had a little bit of freedom. He was like, I haven't had this much fun in the whole season. Yes, smacking cops. Yes, Mardi Gras. Take some money. You get some money. Let's go. He was like, dude, you don't get how much do you know? I'm in Cleveland.
I think it's a little more than that. I think I feel like a lot of players have spoken throughout the season they had spoken against Freddie Kitchens. So a lot of the problems came from the clash with the coaching staff. Who
was fired?
Who was fired? So we'll see what happens going forward. But Odell, I just feel like he's the type of guy that just needs the spotlight on him at all times, and
like this damn light on us.
Yeah, bro. So no, he's
make it hot.
I don't think he'll be happy unless he's playing with like Mahomes or someone who's gonna throw the ball to him.
It's still find an issue.
Yeah,
once he doesn't get the amount of passes he wants, whatever number that is, he's gonna then feel away.
I put it like this: he's no different than Antonio Brown.
Absolutely.
And if Antonio Brown could have cut it on the Patriots, would they take everybody? Then Odell ain't gonna be no different.
Antonio Brown hit it, I guess, for a longer period of time. He was always well, maybe, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But he lasted longer. Like Odell, like instantly has been a head case. Antonio Brown, at least for the time when they were winning, things were good. So maybe that's what it is. When you're winning, people just like, oh, it's just him being him.
I think their biggest problem, speaking for both Odell and Antonio Brown, they don't know how to deal with competition. They're not okay. Even though, like you said, Landry and Odell have been best friends since college. I don't think Odell or Antonio Brown could handle having another player there that's going to draw all the attention. All the issues started with that when Antonio Brown in Pittsburgh started after the rise of Juju, which he's still, I believe he's still talking shit about. So I think he's never going to be
nobody in Oakland.
He's never going to be happy unless he is the guy. And
well, that just spiraled. He started off, he wouldn't shut up. Started with the whole helmet thing.
Yeah.
And then he just kept tweeting and saying stuff. It's like, dude, you was good there, shut up. No, messed that up. Patriots picked him up. You was good there, nope. You still, he just shut up. Like, stop talking, stop tweeting stuff.
Yeah.
Just
shut
the fuck up.
I personally think he's mentally ill, but that's just my
Possibly. I mean, and we can talk about that a little bit. You know, a lot of players have been diagnosed with CTE, other issues. A lot of players, you know, get to a point where knees and body parts don't work the same, and they want to be able to run around with their kids and family and stuff. So a recent trend is now early retirements around 30, some under 30. This season, recently, we just had Luke Kuechly. He just called it quits. Luke Kuechly called it quits. For me, it was Patrick Willis when he did it. Borland, right after. Like, I'm like, all right, okay, we still got Borland. He's going too. It's like, all right, well, you know what I mean? That was during our dark time back in Superbowl. But that was the beginning of it. Harbaugh left, and then when Patrick Willis announced his retirement, it was just like, already?
Retired at 30, I believe.
I think he was 30 on the dot.
He was 30.
And Borland would have been his second season. Right, he was going into his second season.
He retired at 24 because of those concerns.
Right, he had concussion issues and going back to high school, I think they said.
Oh, high school.
He had I think he had about 2 or 3 concussion diagnoses, since then, and he didn't want to deal with that. Patrick Willis same. Chancellor. Andrew Luck now, because he's like, dude, y'all ain't get a better line. I'm out. So
I mean, it also I think is the early retirement was more prominent in running backs.
Initially,
Jim Brown retired.
Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders after a couple after about 9 years. Calvin Johnson retired at 30. So I mean, there's a trend it's been headed that way.
Right.
You know, you have guys, Calvin Johnson, a surefire Hall of Famer. You have Kuechly. Basically led all linebackers in every stat ever since he came into the NFL.
Funny. Not to cut, but it's hilarious that Calvin Johnson is a Hall of Famer, and he played on 0-16 teams.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? It's like the only highlight that city has.
How many playoff games has he even played in?
I don't think he played in any.
Yeah. But I mean, again, that's a personal thing. Like his stats are what you look at,
That's
but
what you can look at.
That's what
I mean, he played every Thanksgiving though because of the tradition.
Because of the right. So he wasn't known.
He has that going for him.
He has primetime games. You know, not Monday Night Football games, but the Thursday Thanksgiving games. So he
got it done, man. I mean, this guy was 6'4", 230 pounds, running a 4.5, 4.4.
He needed help.
30 years old. He retires at 30.
So what do we think? Do we think the league? Do we think it's a league issue? Do we think it's going to be a thing now?
So I was reading prior to coming here. I was reading just doing my due diligence.
I made the research.
All the topics that we're going to talk about. So
I made the research.
So they were saying that the chances of CTE increased by 30% per every year that you play in the NFL. And remember, it's everybody talks about concussions as the leading cause for CTE. CTE is caused by head trauma. Altogether. I mean, every time these guys tackle, I mean, the NFL did a good job of limiting, the speed head-to-head tackles, but
projectile tackling and blindside tackling.
Bro, you're landing. You get tackled as running backs. You land on the side of your head. Any time that the brain hits your skull, bro. That's a lot of damage.
That's a part that people forget because sometimes it's not even the hit itself. It could be you falling, and people forget that. Not that people forget, but people think the helmet is just going to cushion you.
No.
But your head is still rattling in the helmet.
Doesn't matter.
The helmet doesn't keep you straight, and then your brain rattles in your skull. So just shaking can't be prevented. There's nothing you can do to prevent that, and that's a factor that I learned. Later that you don't realize that your brain's not stationary in your skull. Your skull is the helmet for your brain, and then the helmet is just protecting that. And it got cushion in there, but you're still gonna rattle in that cushion. So just falling on your shoulder, your neck can go, as you're falling the impact, and your head rattles, and so it's not even a lot of times the hit. It could be a routine tackle.
You could have a 300-pound guy landing on your head.
Right.
All that stuff is head trauma.
So no matter what the technology they try to do with the helmet, the cushioning and the angling, and it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Even the sports science behind it.
Right.
How ESPN had a sports science thing to see the seconds per frame, whatever. Like all of that things, like the speed of somebody running at you. Going full speed at you. Especially if you're defenseless, you have no idea what's
right.
That's like you. I'm all for people retiring early.
Yeah.
Because honestly, you gave what you need to get to this
retire whenever you feel like it's worth it.
As a
Gerald still
fan,
going in.
I can't be selfish. Right. That's
90 years old.
Yeah, I mean, as a fan, like I said, when Patrick Willis retired, I was because that was right before the draft, and I'm thinking, all right, we're gonna rebuild now. Harbaugh's gone, but we're gonna do what we can do. The defense is still there.
Going into with Navarro, you still got Patrick,
right? So I'm like, okay, we still got our core, and you know what I mean. And then it was just like he left, and again, as a fan, I had a selfish moment,
right?
But it was like I can't even. But then when Borland, I'm like, dude, all right. When he retires and his backup, like, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, dude, wait, what's going on here? And then Bowman was actually injured because the year prior we got robbed because he got the fumble, broke his leg, and they didn't give us that fumble, but we're not going, we're not going to go there.
That was a bad break.
You know what I mean? Literally. Thank you, sir. Yeah, literally was a bad break.
That's a bad break, bro.
But he came back. He ended up.
I had to pay back on that.
Thanks. We just bought this shit though. Super Bowl bound.
I had to pay back on that.
But he came back and he eventually retired right after. He only did like 1 or 2 seasons after that comeback.
Yeah.
He didn't stay too long.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, some guys are getting smarter.
Yeah.
Shout out to Marshawn Lynch who came back out of retirement.
Yeah.
Because the Seahawks were down to their 4th string running back.
Yeah.
He came back, helped them out a little bit. After the post game, but the game they lost, he gave the little speech. They've been wanting him to talk for the longest. Yeah. So he said, you know what? Since I'm here, let me give a little knowledge to the kids and say, listen.
It's crazy because the answer had nothing to do with the question that was asked.
At all. But it was perfect. But it was great. Yeah. It was like I said. He could have gave another. You know what I mean? I'm just here so I can get fine. I'm about my business.
Take care of y'all mental.
He said take care of your mentals.
Body.
Protect the chicken.
Take care of y'all.
And by the way, if you want on Twitter, he talking about money.
Chicken means money.
Chicken means money. I see a lot of people thinking he had a farm.
No.
I think it was memes going on. I'm like, no.
My man is from
Oakland,
California.
From Oaktown, Bay Area.
He sounds like he's from the farm.
Yeah,
he's from Oakland.
No, chicken is money. No. Chicken is money. He's talking about money.
To any rap song, say that.
Because a lot of people don't know, he actually kept all his game check money. And just lived off of his endorsements. I mean, obviously the Beast Mode hats. He had his own little side business. Skittles gave him an endorsement deal.
Nike.
He was good off of that. So his game checks was put away.
Yeah.
He has retirement money.
Yeah.
So when he says, take care of your mentals, he meant like him again. He didn't sell himself out. He didn't talk. He actually never stood for an anthem, and they just was like, leave him alone. So he didn't bend for nobody. He didn't fold. He kept his money. He had a game plan. He had, shout out to his family that held him down.
Yeah.
He showed them when they called him. We need you. He came back.
He was right.
3 games. He still looked good. Had to shake the little game rust off.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Because he's not even that old.
No, he was drafted 2007. So I'll probably say about 33 to 32,
so
33.
About the same. He retired early. He lived out his dream. Went to play for the Raiders again. Being from Oakland,
He retired.
For the Oakland.
He retired initially at 29.
So
30.
Yeah.
He retired.
Yeah.
So he's.
But that was his thing. He was already ready to wrap it up. But he
33.
Yeah. And he wanted to play for the Raiders. He did it. He played as Oakland Raider in Oakland, his hometown. He wilded out the last game there before they moved.
Yeah.
He wanted to do that. He shook his dreads like they do in the Bay Area. Yeah. He did all that. He was done. He's like,
That's right.
Right. You know what I mean? Shout to E40 and them. You know what I mean? But bang down the gang. Back to us. He was done. And Seahawks called him up, and he was like, all right.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Y'all paying me? He was like, all right.
I ain't got nothing to do.
He did what? He did week 16 game 16 or week 17.
Yeah.
Final game of their season, and then the 1 or 2 the 2 playoff games.
Yeah.
So 3 games, whatever his game checks was, but he went hard for them.
Yeah.
And you could tell the first run he jumped like he was just like it was energy.
It's like I'm back.
You know what I mean? So it was good seeing him. We beat him, so I was alright with that game. How that went. As long as we beat them, as long as he didn't get a breakout run on us. But so I mean, like I said, do you think the league needs to be concerned with this trend? Is it a trend, or is it just the names that we see doing it?
I think obviously because of the magnitude of the players.
Right, Luke Kuechly was big.
Luke Kuechly, like I said, I mean, the kid is 28 years old, came into the NFL at 20, has led every defensive category for a linebacker since he came into the NFL. Probably the best linebacker. Missed 7 games in his career, I think,
something like
due
that.
to concussions. Not consecutively, but he had multiple concussions. I mean, at some point, because of all the investigations and all this stuff, all the research that's being done, for CTE, I think it's going to be a trend that's going to continue. You're going to have players that are not such like high profile players, but you're also going to have those big guys that are going to take care of themselves, especially guys like Kuechly that know that they'll have an opportunity. This guy could probably go back to his alma mater and he'll be a defensive coordinator tomorrow.
Right.
So yeah. So you have there's a lot of guys with a lot of opportunities out there, and these are guys that as opposed to NBA players, these are guys that come into the NFL already with college degrees. So
a lot of them actually do stay.
They stay, and some of them get redshirted. So you have their first year for you to be able to get ahead in your studies.
Right.
By the time they declare as juniors, they already have their careers.
Right.
Career path.
Right. The
whether
path.
or not you make it in the NFL or not. So it's a trend, and it's probably going to continue because concussions are still there, and as much as they're trying to protect the players, a lot of defensive players have spoken up that you're trying to protect the offensive players enough that the defensive guys are going to get hurt because we won't know what or how
what angle to
right.
So you got to stop at a certain time.
Right. You're going to cause injuries for us just for the sake of keeping the offensive players
and allowing
healthy.
Running backs to truck. They can tuck their head down and go
Absolutely,
into it. But I can't. And it's like, so as I'm trying to go low, he's going low. I gotta still look away and give him my shoulder. And now I can't wrap around. He's gone, so it's awkward. And then I can land awkwardly. So it's
catch you with a McGregor shoulder or something, knock you out. So.
Right. Or land awkwardly on your arm or something like that. It's bad. And penalties, injury alone now, like the defense is you're trying to go low, but he's going low. Now you got a penalty on that play. And as a defensive player, a lot of them are suffering. They're dealing with now being at fault for not being able to tackle properly.
The targeting penalties. I think they get fined after a certain amount, similar to like technical fouls in the NFL, kind of. And I mean in the NBA. So man, it's gonna be it's a trend. The players don't know what to do.
Right.
And like Marshawn said, man, take care of your mental. And a lot of these guys, you see it with
your chicken.
You see it with Antonio Brown. See what Antonio Brown is spiraling down, and you don't know what's happening with him.
Which could be a side effect too.
You saw that video with the police?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, man.
He's trying to be a rapper.
And then the PAL say, "No, fuck you and your money. Here, take that shit back."
This guy's throwing a bag of dicks at his
girlfriend, fiance.
Artist was so weird because he was yelling, screaming at the police, screaming at her, saying, "Oh, these hoes, da da da." And then he told this kid, "Hey, boo boo, I'll see you later." Like, what in the fuck am I watching here?
Take care of your mentals. Take care of your mentals.
Oh my god. Take care of your mental. It's not fun, man.
You think it's a trend? You think?
I think it's a healthy trend because honestly, as much as we love entertainment, this goes back to fucking ancient history, like the Gladiator movies. That shit, we love bloodthirsty shit. Like we're glutton for it. Exactly. Like we're glutton for punishment. We love to see that shit as long as it happens.
The Gladiator sport, boxing, football,
boxing. Like people will die in that ring. Like people, but people go into a sign they know what they're getting themselves into. We love bloodshed. It's like goes back to ancient times. Gladiator times where. We just want to see punishment as long as it doesn't happen to us. And that's football. Football is modern day gladiator sport. And as much as we want to see people, give it all, same for boxing, MMA, anything where people can seriously get injured and lose their livelihood.
It's crazy.
We're fucking nuts.
We good to see a knockout, but it's like, is he okay?
It sounds nuts. Is he gonna walk? Is he gonna walk?
He's alive, right?
Like, oh
yeah.
Yo, he dead.
Oh, he dead. Right? He's like,
like it takes us like a long time to catch that and be like, oh,
is he gonna walk?
this man actually, So, but
And like, people share the videos on like, yo, look at this, look at this. Like, yeah.
Yeah, so like a week later, and after a week later, we're like,
got 700,000 retweets.
Right. Like, there was a boxer, I remember, like, he had a bad knockout, he was in a coma, and he died like 3 days later.
Yeah.
It happened recently, too.
Yeah, recently. So, but, like, with football, it's like, we want to see people play until forever, you know? Yeah. Roughly until like the 30-something age, they would start calling it. And it's crazy because we're in our 30s and we're like, yo, that's old. For an athlete.
For an athlete, right.
But meanwhile, we're like, damn, we're still young, baby, fuck that.
I never re-signed anybody over 30 in Madden.
Like, I'm 30. Right.
Like, nobody over 30 get re-signed, bro.
It's crazy. But, for those people who care about their health, if you can, I'll say it like this. If you can play it like Larry Fitzgerald. If you have that passion, you still want to get out there, you don't want to be bored on Sunday in your house, I get it. Do what you got. If you're still good at it, do it.
My boy Eli Manning, I have no idea how he's still playing.
Tom Brady, they don't have no idea what they want to do. Yeah. And they got, and Tom has a freaking Superbowl. He don't want to be home.
Yeah.
It says so. But
he don't want to be making out with his kids.
He don't want to see none of this shit. But if you have the passion, if you can do it, do it till you drop. However, if you want to have, like, you see many athletes, all the Hall of Famers, and I'm pretty sure you see it during the Hall of Fame induction stuff. Yeah. Half of them can barely walk. Yeah. Half of them can barely stand because of their body they gave up. And that was in an era where the helmets were like this shirt.
Paper thin,
like this shirt. Like you want to have the opportunity to play with your kids. If you have kids or nephews, nieces, whatever, you want to have the ability to actually walk to the store and not say, "Oh shit, hold on, I need help." Like
it's funny that you say that because remember that was Derrick Rose.
Yes,
a lot of people was clowning him. Oh, he's in the suit, he's not coming back. But like, his reasoning was, I got a son now. I want to be able to run around and play with him. Yeah. I'm just thinking about my future. Yeah. He didn't say I'm retiring. He was like, I'm evaluating it. He's like, do I want to continue this? Yeah. Or do I want to just chill and raise my family? You know what I'm saying? He ended up coming back. And shout out to Derrick. He's having a very good season. He's looking good. But a lot of people called him soft and stuff. But it was like,
you know what? We call people soft because we're not the ones playing.
Right.
We're not the ones we're not the ones playing for millions of dollars. And that's a fucked up excuse that we all, not all, but that the collective population uses. Because they make millions, they should be able to handle X, Y, and Z more than us 60,000 and whatever average, people. Like, no.
But at the end of the day, you want to make the money, but you want to be alive and healthy to spend it and enjoy it with your family.
Yeah. They're better at that sport than we are. Right. That's why they're getting paid that money.
I stopped playing, but I have my high ankle sprain. Yeah. I stepped back on the court like once or twice. I'm like, no, I feel it. I'm chilling. Y'all good. I ain't getting paid. Like, you know what I mean? So for them, you can't sell yourself for the money.
Like the homie Rondell.
Yeah, shout out to
Rondell. Dude, blue.
He is Achilles. Yeah.
Both of them.
Right.
And he don't make fucking NBA money.
Right, yeah.
He makes regular Best Buy money. Son. We all made that money.
Yeah.
And you blow your shit out for a regular 9 to 5. Imagine doing that shit for millions. You have millions at grass. I've got to protect my own body.
Right. Rondell was a sick dude, man.
That's a homie though, but still, like it's all because you make millions doesn't mean that's an excuse to to be like, oh well, he's soft, whatever like that. And like I said, and I've been part of that person. I've been part of people who make jokes on Derrick Rose and whoever else got hurt, whatever, and so forth like that. But at the same time, it's like we don't have that right to ever tell somebody you soft or you're injury prone. We all get injured, especially if you're giving your body the contact every fucking day, and especially in a sport like the NFL where you're getting pounded every day. Pause, but like every pause, time out and shit. But every play, there's a collision. Your body is not made to withstand collision.
And
like it's a car accident.
Stop and start.
And the thing also is like here's the way that I see the whole early retirement things and regardless of the sport. So I think the people hang on to that notion that players are soft for retiring early because when the general population retires, you're literally at the end of your life.
Right.
You have a couple of years left. So if you have a guy like, even Derrick Rose came into the NBA, had so much success at an early age, youngest MVP to ever do it. You have so much success early in your career.
Remember that dunk on Goran Dragic?
Oh, wow.
Remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
Insert clip here.
I don't remember that.
I might show that.
Throw that cable.
But continue. I'm sorry. I mean to cut you
Throw
off.
that table at you. So you associate retirement with this is the end of the minefield.
Right.
So even when Derrick Rose was considering retirement early in his midway through his 20s, he has a child.
Right.
He's made some money. Thank God the NBA. You have guaranteed contracts. He had a big deal with Adidas early in his career. I want to retire, not because I can't do it anymore, but it's because I have a child. I want to be there for my son.
Right.
And at the end of the day, I'm 26, 27 years old. I have my whole life ahead of me.
Right.
And that's the same thing with football. That's the way that probably Kuechly and all these guys saw it. It's like, listen,
I have a whole
back to the same thing you're saying. It's like, they don't see the grind. These guys are at the gym, going through 2-a-days, 3-4 times a week. People only think of Sundays as, you got hurt on Sunday.
Play one day,
bro. You understand?
You play one day out of the week.
You understand the grind that you go through. It's tiring, bro. It's a long season. It's a long season. You have the preseason also. These guys are working out 4 or 5 days a week plus a game for a better part of 9 months out of the year. Yeah. So it's And
now they got Seattle playing a London game next year, I think.
Yeah. A London game right after a short week or something. It's tough, man.
Seattle has every year they have the most travel miles because they're Pacific Northwest and there's nobody nearby. So they every away game is a flight. There's no bus trip. There's no local. It's everything, and now they're gonna have to play in London.
They have a great fan base out there, man. It's literally only it's only them. You have the WNBA team. You have the MLS team. Hopefully the NBA goes back. Get the Sonics back, realign the divisions, but that's another conversation. It's taxing. It's a long season for all these sports, all these teams, bro. You're spending the majority of your year traveling away from your families. Some of these guys just value their personal time and their time with their families more than they do, the money that you're probably going to get if you
putting
play
their body on the line for our enjoyment. Like you guys said, they're sacrificing their body for us.
Yeah, and back to the we spoke about it off camera, the Aaron Hernandez situation. Right. The way he spoke about his injuries. He said there wasn't a game where I wasn't getting shot up with painkillers. It's a bigger conversation. There's a lot of guys out there playing hurt. A lot of guys, going in and out after taking hits to the head, bypassing concussion protocol. The NFL had to enforce that. Yes. Because this was happening. Because you have that mantra that, listen, I'm an NFL player. I have to be a man's man, and I have to play hurt.
And a lot of guys were playing for that money too. Right. Yeah. They had to tough it out because they had so many incentivized contracts. That's why they're fighting to get them guaranteed contracts now. Because before it was a lot of you get a bonus after 30 tackles. It's like, dude, I'm on 25. I gotta play. I gotta get back in this game.
I mean, you have guys. You have guys getting paid. Getting 4-year, $60 million deals with only $11 million guaranteed.
Right. Everything else is do certain things. So, you gotta get a certain amount of catches, certain amount of yards.
So the strings for that change.
Right. And a lot of them were they were going back in the game because they're like, yo, I'm only 5 yards short. Yeah. Like, dude, you can't even stand up. I gotta play. Yeah. I gotta do it. And so that's part. I mean, the NFL is trying. Some people say they're not doing enough. Yeah. Some people ask, what more can they do? Yeah. The rules are changing. The concussion protocols now basically takes you out the game. Yeah. There's no more that will evaluate you later. It's do the little test. Okay, come here, get off the field. Yeah, you're gone. You know what I'm saying? So they're doing what they can. The game is a gladiator sport. It's hard to, and it's harder for some of us to watch now because the rule changes. And it's softer now. You can't hit certain ways. Quarterbacks now, it's an instant flag. And you just land on top of him. Yeah. You know what I mean? Now you got to tackle him and roll over. I ain't touching him. And it's like, nope, you found him. You know what I'm saying?
They said you basically have a whole LeBron flop.
You got you got
like, why are you talking?
right. You kind of gotta just say, hey, please go down, Mr. Quarterback. You know, I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to flag.
And if they don't go down and they start getting like what, a freaking 80-yard play,
right?
Yeah. Then you get
like Roethlisberger would do. Like Roethlisberger was stocky. Yeah. He would stay in the pocket, this dude on his leg, and he just throws it. Right. Yeah. It's like, dude, I gotta grab him. Like I gotta get him. You know, so it's like defenders are dealing with that. You know, games are suffering a little bit. You know, players are complaining about it, but it's give and take, and it's hard to see a change.
It's hard to make. It's kind of like other laws in the country where, but it's like if there's only but so much you can do.
Yeah,
your body's not designed for this shit. So there's only but so many rules you can make. Yeah. To try to even out, try to make it better. Like, you really can't do too much. Mm-hmm. And that was not to beat the dead horseman, but like that was Antonio Brown's thing. Like he didn't want to let go of his helmet he's had since high school, whatever, college, because that's my helmet. I'm used to it, but they're trying to make the helmets safe, more cushion, whatever. Mm-hmm. So it's like we're trying to protect you, but at the same time, how much can you really protect somebody in a sport where there's not a lot of protection? Your body can't be protected.
And in his situation, it's like, was it a sense of security he had with the helmet? Was it just him just being annoying? With him, both. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause some people might feel
all of the above. Yeah.
With this helmet, I feel I'm invincible. You know what I mean?
My superpower, right?
I mean, that's not rare with these players. Like Tom Brady still plays with the same pads that he wears since college. Right. So it's like you have some certain like there is some type of endearment.
That's what I'm saying. With Antonio, it's because of his track record. Yeah. You just say he's just being annoying.
He didn't want to be in Oakland either, bro. Right. Let's be real.
But you know. It could have been like you're taking him out of my comfort zone. Yeah, I've been wearing this helmet since forever, and luckily I haven't had concussions and things. Yeah. So he's like, I don't want to change. Like I'm afraid, you know what I'm saying? So it could be that too. You know what I mean? We just it's him, so we look at it a certain way. You know what I mean? But like it's hard, man. It's never gonna end. Let us know what y'all think about that. People retiring early, and like you said too, the word retirement, we hear it and think 70 years old, pension waiting accrue, but with them, they're millionaires. Yeah. So they have money for those that budget it wisely. Yeah. Can stop right there. Yeah. Start a business, open something, invest. They have the money. They're not waiting on 100,000 or something just sitting there. They got They got an extra zero on the comma.
I mean, a lot of these guys also. They haven't lived the life that most people live up until the time that they retire. Like like I said, you're traveling so much that you don't even enjoy.
And from high school,
enjoy that.
You're a celebrity
even before that.
Right, Pop Warners.
You have traveling teams that go everywhere. Mm-hmm. They're treated like gods in high school.
After school, right.
It's crazy. You have
you can't hang out like you want to. A lot of them in college can't date because they're not getting paid to take a girl out. But you know what I'm saying? It's like so they just wilding out sometimes, or they just like I gotta go here. So they haven't lived. You know what I mean? And you don't want to be the old dude. Yeah. Okay, now I can go to Paris, but we walking and I gotta
in the wheelchair.
I got the old man limp. I can't even. Y'all go ahead. I'm gonna catch up to you. You know what I mean?
And you wonder why OJ had that one.
OJ, Michael Jordan. We see like a lot of them. They got that
Zion with the walk.
Zion already.
Zion just came out of college.
Is he 20 yet?
No, I don't think he is.
Yeah, he's not even 20.
And he already got the Charles Barkley walk.
And he got a lot of weight landing on his knees.
I mean, it's crazy how explosive and athletic he is, but he's 6'7", 285.
The landing is always the thing. If you look at like a lot of those big players, Shaq, Rick Smith, their feet was always the thing. Like feet was always, you know what I mean? Because as big as you are, strong as you are.
Yao Ming also.
Because of feet,
that.
legs,
the big players.
Yeah, feet and legs, ankles. Yeah, that's always a thing. Like you know what I mean? But we gotta as a fan of the sports, and we gotta just accept it. You know what I'm saying? If somebody's looking retired, like, God, thank you for your service, kind of. You know what I mean? Like the war veterans. Thank you and live your life now.
I think like
right off into the sun.
Right.
Like their bodies at 28, 29 is the average 70-year-old.
Yeah. They've been banged up since young. Yeah.
And going back to CTE, I mean, you don't know how much damage has been done to their brains, man. Like, a lot of these players have bodily and just the mental functions of patients way into like dementia.
Remember Junior Seau?
Junior Seau was one of the examples.
His story is
heartbreaking.
Yeah,
you have
there's a lot of them that.
There was this other kid, I forget his name now. Don't hold me accountable to that, but the kid that was playing for the Chiefs that shot his girlfriend and shot himself.
Yes,
I forgot his name.
I can't think of his name either.
So,
yes, I know what you're talking about.
And he was only like 24. And yeah, man, it's.
Did you know? Comment below.
Yeah, it's an epidemic, man. It's something that they've been trying to prevent from happening for a very long time. I think Roger Goodell has done a good job of limiting some of these things, but this is going to continue to happen. I think you're going to see again a lot of high-profile players are going to retire early because
forgot about Gronk.
Gronk
also
Gronk retired early.
Yeah. It's going to happen, man. It's bound to happen.
Jersey Shore.
Jersey Shore. My man was bugging out for New Year's. You seen him?
Oh man, the Lego trade with Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey was ready to kill him, bro. He was ready to hit him with that.
Oh man, I forgot about Gronk.
With that 1-2.
Yeah, Gronk is what? He's 30.
Gronk is 29.
He's 29, so he's never 30 yet.
Gronk is 29.
Yeah.
Retired right after his age, 28.
And you don't even realize it, because he won 3 times?
Three Super Bowls. Yeah.
3 Super Bowls, played in like 5, something like that? Yeah. He had a full career. Yeah. He had a full career in the little bit of, like, you know what I mean? Like, Hall of Famer at, under 30, he and the tight end position now is the premier position now. A lot of teams, you know what I mean. But it's funny you bring up Gronk. The team he was on had a lot of scandal. They had some issues this year as well. They spying on the Cincinnati Bengals for some reason.
Bengals, like,
of all teams,
it's like the Bengals though.
Yeah, you could roll out your B team and you could probably go toe to toe with them.
I don't know why they was videotaping the Bengals.
Why? Because they probably said they would really expect us to do it against like the Ravens, or the Chiefs. Or somebody high profile. They will never see this coming.
Yeah, and I mean, like I tell everybody, it's like they've everybody knows how I feel about the Patriots. I can say whatever I want because they've never beaten my team in a Super Bowl, but they probably have the tape on so many other teams that the Bengals were probably the last team.
Right? They were like, we didn't record them.
Listen, they haven't won a playoff game since what, the 80s, the 90s,
and the excuse they gave was the videographers, whatever.
Throw them under the bus.
Yo, that was such privilege, bro.
But he said it was like an intern.
He was like, well, if you want, like we.
But it was like somebody's son or nephew of somebody, and it was like, we didn't. He's an intern. But that's the same thing they did with the footballs. It was just like, well, the equipment manager. Yeah, I didn't know.
They always find a way to do it, man.
But on the topic of cheating,
a lot of cheating involved in sports.
Especially
the biggest thing right now is baseball. We had the Jose Canseco dropping dimes on, back in the days with the HEH and the Balco scandals and all that. He wrote the book, dropped a bunch of names, but recently this year, the Astros were caught. They were recording. They was stealing signs and alerting players on what was coming, and so much impact there. So much happened there. Where do you want to begin? How do you want to?
Do you want to talk about like the? There's a lot of rumors as to what the system was. That
was there's some people talking now. People are tweeting. People like family members are coming out now saying they knew. Yeah. It's about to be. They got the surviving R. Kellys and all that. Yeah. You about to get a surviving Astros.
Surviving Houston.
Now you got
the end of a dynasty.
Yeah, testimonies are coming out. People are giving their input. They're saying what they know, and they're saying they knew, and everybody knew, and I'm saying it. And it's just like so.
The Altuve buzz.
Well, the biggest thing has been. I mean, if you've been following the whole situation, the whole thing with the bang in the trash can. So,
right.
What apparently what was going on behind the scenes? There was someone that had access. So the Major League Baseball expanded their replay system.
There's more cameras now.
Yeah, there's a lot more cameras. Stadium. So now there's a designated room in each stadium for Major League Baseball staff to be able to go in and review the content of the play that's in question. So apparently there was someone that may have been associated to the team or not, or associated to the players in a way, had access to the room and was relaying what pitch was coming in live time to a person that was either in the bullpen or in the dugout.
In the dugout.
Yeah.
I think it was on the stairway, like right there by
right. So that message was being relayed through an Apple Watch, which is crazy to me. So in live time, they were able to see what pitch was coming through the Apple Watch and proceeded to bang a trash can for off-speed pitches.
Right.
So now the whole banging thing, it's if you've been following the whole situation, it's very clear that this is happening because there's thousands of videos. This guy that's the Yankee fan, very famous Yankee fan on Twitter, John Boy. So John Boy's been on top of this whole situation since November. That's when Mike Fiers, pitcher of the Oakland Athletics, came out and was the first person to be, to put a name, to add a face to listen. This is happening, and it's gone nuts. Now you have buzzers. Bless you, bro. Now you have buzzers attached
so
to players.
Altuve had a buzzer under his jersey, and he was getting they would buzz it for him to know if it was an off-speed pitch or whatever, or
to lay off, basically lay off the pitch. Yeah. And it's crazy to me because now so many players for you guys that don't know it, I'm a huge Mets fan, so I tend to follow a lot of the players that are active on social media for the Mets. I follow Marcus Stroman, who was just acquired by the Mets last year. There was
Blue Jays.
Yeah, so there was a tape of a game in 2017 while he was with the Blue Jays, in which he for the first time he watches tape of that game that he pitched in Houston, and he said, it makes sense now that these people were laid off of what I thought were great pitches, and I got tagged for 6 runs in 5 innings. So it's like
he's trash. He's not trash.
Not because he's trash, but it's like, listen, you
and that's funny because he was doubting himself.
Yeah,
like I'm giving him my good stuff.
I'm giving him everything, and everybody's laying off of it.
Right.
So, this whole thing has become a disaster. There was they had a fan fest over the weekend. They hit the Astros, which a couple of players were, most importantly, Bregman and Altuve, which I think are the 2 more prominent names in the report.
Correct.
And these guys, what rubs me wrong, I don't compete directly with them. My team is in the National League. For you guys are both Yankee fans. I know probably it's annoying because you feel like a championship was taken away from you guys. These guys, there's no sense of guilt. There's no sense of accountability. Mind you, I know that the team has taken action. They fired their GM. They fired their coach.
That was some bullshit.
Major League Baseball took action against them.
Right, they were suspended first by them
for the year. But these guys just sound like they don't care. There's no accountability there. They're not taking. This is on the report, for the little that has come out of the report.
Right.
This was a player-driven scheme.
Right.
The reason why it's the management and ownership is magnified on this because they knew that this was happening.
You had to have known, and you keep hearing that bang. You know.
Yeah.
What is that? Like
the players. Yeah. The players that were going up against them. They noticed it because there's a couple of videos on there. There's this picture that. Once was a Yankee prospect, Danny Farquhar. Like he seems to be uncomfortable with what's happening because he hears the bang. He calls his catcher over plenty of times. It's a lot of the players knew it, but again,
and they've gone back to video.
He since used
bang. That one was very slight, but he takes the changeup. Now Farquhar looking good. Let's see, fastball, no bang at all. Takes it. Next pitch. There's the changeup. Bang, bang, takes it.
And even for the buzzer thing, there was a lump under Altuve's jersey, and when he hit the walk off, and he was like, you could see him saying Dr. Ripper's jersey.
Says it in Spanish,
right?
So like,
the announcer asked him about it, and he was like, oh, I don't want to get in trouble with my wife, or because he was like, oh, last time they ripped it off, my wife got, and it was just like, what? Your wife's not working. She's not doing your laundry.
He's like, yeah, I'm shy.
That's team equipment.
Like, I'm shy. My wife this, my wife that.
So it was just BS. But
and then when they asked him about it recently about what's going on, he was like, I didn't hear you say that again.
Yeah.
To buy himself some time to give an answer.
Right. And then he was just he was just like, he shrugged it off like, they did it last time. They didn't want to do it again. You're not thinking about that in the middle of a walk off in the playoffs.
Right.
You just hype. You're not like, wait, I gotta do laundry this weekend. Like, it's my fifth jersey. I can't keep. You're not thinking that. Like,
my wife is going to fucking kill me.
I feel terrible for the Astros fan base. Obviously, you know that your first championship as a franchise is going to be tainted forever.
Now, as of yet, they have not taken back the championship.
I don't think they will.
Okay,
and that's something that I feel it won't happen because there's no precedent of the MLB ever taking action. At the end of the day, the one organization that benefits the most from all of this is the Major League Baseball because it brings ratings. You have a team that's dominating, same way that they stayed shut during the whole steroid era.
Steroids.
This literally, like the steroids in baseball revived baseball after
because that
strike.
That home run. Battle with Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire. That everyone was tuning in to see who's going to do it first.
Everybody was brought back into baseball. Baseball before the strike in '94 was in a very, very bad place.
And the Astros was a small market team to an extent. Going up against the Yankees and going up. They played the right way. So as some would say, or at least we thought, small ball. We was hitting home runs. They was getting singles and doubles and stealing bases, and so we thought they were playing it the right way. But in actuality, they had a heads up on when to steal or hit because they knew off-speed pitches coming.
It was all such a feel-good story. You have a team that makes it to the World Series in 05, loses to the White Sox, then they go through a huge rebuilding process. Took them about 7-8 years to get back into contention. You have a lot of first-round picks. Altuve came in there, George Springer. These are all homegrown guys. So the fact that this team did it,
and that's what as I said, it seemed like they did it the right way.
It seems like they did it the right way. This is what Major League Baseball wants. Other cities that for example, like Tampa Bay,
small
does
market
it the right way. You could be competitive while doing this. Washington. These are all mostly homegrown teams that have done it. But now the fact that you have a team like the Astros that everybody liked, and you have Sports Illustrated before the season even announcing that they were going to be the World Series champs, and I think and everybody's looking at 2017 because that was the year that they actually went ahead and won the championship. But player Logan Morrison was a longtime Major League outfielder and first baseman, said that. As early as 2014, he remembers the banging going on. He said he was that time was with the Seattle Mariners. He remembers going into a game later in the season, 2014. This is 6 years ago. Going in there with to a Sunday night game with Felix Hernandez, who at that time was competing for a Cy Young, could barely make it past the fifth inning. He got rocked. He could hear the banging. So ever since technology was brought into the sport, we said that technology was going to do this. We spoke about this for years. Technology was going to ruin the sport.
And you can see it too. They brought up Altuve's playoff stats home and away. And at home, he's a beast.
He was a
429 or something.
Here that year during the playoffs. I actually have the stats for Altuve, who was probably the best hitter
at home
that year for them. So basically, you have Altuve had a OPS. OPS is basically on base percentage plus slugging percentage. To the people that are not so familiar with baseball, he had an OPS of 1.541, which is unheard of at home. For you to be in baseball, for you to be an average player, your OPS should be around 800. That's a player that's actually hitting for power, getting on base, hitting for average around 800. 800 is average. This guy was hitting 541.
Right.
That's what I've heard of. And it's
because he was cheating.
And it's a lot of people are like, for myself, I've been a baseball fan since I was very young. I played baseball for a long period of time as well. So it's like, yes, steroids. You had a lot of guys that, let's just be clear, they were bums, even though they were on steroids. But you had other guys that did have that advantage. But it's it affects people differently. Now, when you're the advantage that you have by knowing what pitch is coming, it's ridiculous how much damage you could do to another team by doing that.
Right.
It's like, seriously, like basically you're dictating the pace of the game at that point.
Right. Yeah.
And it's a huge disadvantage, and it's shameful, and I really feel bad for Houston Astros fans. I feel bad for Yankee fans, and most importantly, I feel bad for the Dodgers fans. They were screwed out of 2 World Series.
True. Yeah.
By 2 cheaters.
Back to back. Because then Alex Cora left
Houston.
His job in Houston to get promoted, won a World Series his first year, and now there are reports that the Red Sox were also involved in the cheating scandal.
I was going to talk to that, yeah. And it followed him. So that's an interesting part of it that that ties to that, and then also
he kind of Tekashi 6ix9ine on Beltran.
Right, I was gonna say that boy Carlos Beltran, who was named the new manager of the New York Mets.
Yeah,
for like 2 seconds.
2 months.
2 months exactly.
For 2 months.
They did the process, went through interviews,
built a coaching staff, and he's gone. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then his involvement with this, because at the time he was
a player at the time. He was a veteran player. The reason why, not Major League Baseball, the reason why he was named in the report is because of legal issues. He is no longer a player. He's no longer represented under the umbrella of a Major League Baseball Players Association. So, they could go after him because he's now his own entity.
Right.
He's a former player. There's so much that the Players Association will do for you as a former player. It cost him his job. He was one of the names alongside Altuve, alongside Bregman, that were mentioned several times as one of the head honchos in the whole
conspirators.
In the whole cheating scandal, and it's shameful, man. It's probably the biggest scandal in baseball since. I mean, they're calling it the biggest scandal ever since the Black Sox in 1919.
Right.
I mean, steroids was a thing, but steroids is a league-wide thing.
Right.
Not to excuse what was happening. Pete Rose was in another level of Basically, you have a bunch of Hall of Famers. We were talking about it earlier. You have a whole bunch of Hall of Famers on your team, and your team is 10 games under 500.
Right.
You're obviously doing something wrong. And then the year after that, they win the World Series in 1990. So, it's sad. I mean, I'm a huge baseball fan. I was cheering for the Astros to do it because I thought they were the team that were doing it the right way.
Right. That's a lot of people, especially because the Yankees looked as the evil empire. They paid to get certain people, so it's like everyone always, Moneyball. They always acknowledge the team that homegrown farm talent, build them up, small ball, steal, hit, bunt, do all the cool fun stuff, sandlot type stuff. Yeah. And they were doing that, and it was, like you said, it was bad for baseball now because, it definitely taints the image of that they were portraying with them. And and like you brought up too, the technology now. Now they got to look. We spoke about football and stuff earlier, but you know how on the sidelines, the coaches always got the play sheet over their face. You know what I'm saying? So they protect it, but it's like signals and the cameras now. It takes me back to I believe it was an NFL game. It was the Cowboys and I think the Rams, I want to say, and they did the coin toss. Dak Prescott, they got to say you defer. You have to say I defer. Yeah. And I guess he never did it before. He was.
It is heads. Dallas has won the toss.
Go defense. We want to kick it. Kicking it that way.
You want to kick?
We defer the second half. Yes.
Okay, you're going to kick.
Yeah.
And the referee at first said he didn't say it, so the penalty was the Rams got the ball twice. They got it at the beginning of the game and again at the halftime. But what happened was...
I just spoke with Walt Anderson on the field, and he told me at halftime they did determine that the word deferred was said at one point by Dak Prescott. So they decided to give the ball to the Dallas Cowboys. I will tell you, I walked into the half with Jason Garrett. We spoke about the game, and at the end, he asked me about the audio that we played, asked me all about it, and said, so you did hear defer? I said, yes. He said, okay. But that was news to Sean McVay coming out of the tunnel that Cowboys were going to get the ball.
The Rams weren't even aware of that. So the Rams is sending out their receiving team.
Yeah.
And they're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then, we didn't tell you. They get the ball. He's like, but you told us that. Oh no, well we watched. They're like, well, we didn't hear a replay. There was no replay. There was no flag. How do you reverse that?
So you don't even know.
Kind of makes you ask the question. However, who was it that told Jason Garrett that they had audio? If he's telling Erin Andrews or asking her what it said, what was said as he's coming off the field at halftime, somebody communicated to him that they heard it on the broadcast. So.
Right, but TV, someone saw it on TV, ran down with, whether they was using the ESPN app and rewound it back or whoever, but TV now, that now is a factor of the game, you know what I mean, and the technology, they got drone cams, they got, even in football, they got the pylon cams, and there's cameras everywhere, the players are mic'd up.
Yeah. Do
you guys feel that it's too much exposure into the game and it's being used for manipulative reasons?
I mean, it's the way that all these players coming out and speaking about the whole scandal. It sounds like this is a league-wide thing. Mm-hmm. There's many teams that are doing this. I remember earlier in the offseason, there were talks that when Fires first came out, there were players that came out with burner accounts and brought up, Milwaukee Brewers. With, the rise of Yelich and his road and home splits. Now you have the Red Sox are involved in it. You have a lot of teams are. It's going to start coming out little by little. You have all these players using burner accounts, following the KD method. Following the KD method. You have family members of players that we spoke about. Gary Sheffield's son, Scott Brocious' son, came out and made a lot of allegations, and yeah, man, it's a sad day for baseball. This is not the end of this investigation. And as far as what are the next steps to take from here, I think you have to have MLB personnel, in the dugouts to make sure that there's no cameras being used, there's no communication between the players and all that, and just remove tablets.
And they're gonna have to stop them from making noises.
Yeah, and
you gotta pat players down when they take the field.
They don't have,
which then when Brett Gardner gets mad and he starts banging, he's like, can I even be like, whoa.
I mean, as a Mets fan, they should investigate that because it's kind of fishy that every time that happens, a home run happens to be hit right after. Doesn't really surprise.
The funny thing, CC Sabathia actually put the picture up with the metal detector as Altuve was taking the base. That was a funny pic, but they're gonna have like every time a team takes the field, the umpire gonna have to pat them down like it's the club, you gotta check them,
oh god, the fucking movie. Amazing League.
Major League when they had a bunch of goons.
Had a fucking Wild Thing. Remember Wild Thing had that Pat Man.
Remember Naked Gun? Remember Leslie Nielsen was doing that Naked Gun? He tried to find like the umpire's about to start patting people down. Like, okay, is any buzzers? And alright, watch him. What's he doing up the garbage can? Like, we gotta start watching the dugouts, and everybody gotta sit there like this in the dugout. You know what I'm saying? Where's your hands up?
Don't look left or right.
Right. No winking, no blinking.
This is gonna happen.
No more yelling at the team. Come on, batter. Hey, how many batters was that? What do you say? What does that mean? Like, you gotta. It's gonna be a quiet game now.
There's gonna be a lot of repercussions to this.
Getting the reflective lights.
I feel for some of these players. I mean, they had a chance to come clean during Fan Fest. They don't sound like they're.
You gotta stick to the line, man. Keep the line alive.
Keep the line alive.
The Astros are gonna have a huge target on their back.
Yeah.
Well, here's my thing.
A lot of teams are gonna be retaliating. A lot of players are gonna potentially get hurt because that's how the game of baseball is played.
Yeah. Here's my thing to it. First, that's it. That's it. It's a whole investigation.
Like
that was damn near the whole trash can in Houston.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. So, but no, it's.
But shout out to the Staten Island Yankees having a trash can day.
December 3rd, man. We gonna beat it.
We had to go get this. I want a trash can.
That was amazing.
Gotta be there, man. December 3rd.
Trash can day for the Staten Island Yankees.
That was amazing. I'm not a Yankee fan. But, you know, if I'm around,
we had to go to Staten Island.
If I'm free, I'll take that.
I want to go. I'm down for that.
I want to
down for that. You know,
that's hilarious, man.
I mean, some people can have fun with it, but like you said, it's a big thing. The investigation's going to continue. The conversation's going to continue. We're going to talk about it some more.
Nah, but Gus, you did say there's no precedent to like taking the title away from it.
Yeah.
But I think you need to make a hard stance.
Yeah.
And I think this is the chance that you make a hard stance to. Because it didn't just set up for 1 year, it was 2 years in a row of the same kind of shit.
And I believe that's what they have to look back into all of that, and because as of right now, it's still speculation.
Yeah.
You can hear banging. You got to prove.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
this is for that. So
there was no precedent to put an asterisk next to Barry Bonds'
name.
So you have to.
And technically, it's just some people putting an imaginary asterisk there.
Yeah.
Because he never was found guilty for anything. It's just people just saying, well, he's not my home run. It's like, all right, that's cool, but he is.
Yeah, that's like saying,
you know what I mean? You feel how you feel.
He's not my president. Like,
right. You feel how you feel, but he is.
And it's crazy because you have a lot of players are going to be involved here that were on a trajectory to go into the Hall of Fame that are going to be tainted forever. You have Carlos Beltran's candidacy now. That's probably going to be put into question.
Mm-hmm.
You have Altuve. Altuve has the most hits since he joined.
Yeah, I don't like him anyways. We good on that.
I mean, I feel like that's a consensus by everybody.
Yeah, but I didn't like him before. I don't like him. I don't like him even more now.
My parents are huge Yankee fans. My mom cannot stand.
Yeah, he's the little dude. Like, he like my height. Like, but it was at first it was a respectful hate.
Yeah.
Like, he's good. He's good. Now it's he ain't even that good. He was shit like, now it's I really don't hate. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was. It was like that. Right. Before it was a respect kind of thing. Yeah. Now I lost respect for him. You know what I'm saying? Obviously,
how to lose respect for Mike Trout if he's found guilty.
So again, it depends on
depends how true the allegations are. But yeah, man. As far as that report, I'm pretty sure that those fines, that $5 million fine, is not the only thing that's going to come out of this. The report is not finalized, the investigation is not finalized.
Right.
So we'll see what comes out of it. I'm sure, like you said, we'll have more to talk about about this aspect.
Pitchers and catchers starts when
about 22 days from now.
Right, it's close. So they're trying to
get this result as soon as possible.
Yeah, because they want to make sure who doesn't belong is not going to be involved in any, training and playing. And also that's when a lot of players' contracts kick in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they want to stop it before any money gets, we suspended you or fining you or whatever. We want to start it before your new contract year begins.
Yeah.
So they like you said, there's no precedence, there's no rule.
Yeah.
So they have to also talk to the Players Association to make sure they're not violating anything with their civil rights or whatever. Yeah. So it's an interesting situation, but they have to prove it. They have to have proof. They have to really, like you said, going back to 2014 and maybe even further. And then who else is doing it? And, so much is coming out now. People on Twitter, family members, people just saying stuff. And like I said, it's gonna be a Netflix documentary on it soon.
But I personally feel, knowing how Major League Baseball handles itself and how they work, very little will come out of this.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, same way that they knew that this brought that the steroid era brought excitement to baseball.
Right.
They know that this whole technology and this whole thing that's happening, it's bringing excitement to baseball. You have big market teams and some small market teams are all in the mix as far as being competitive. Like I feel like outside of the Orioles, there's really not that many teams that aren't competitive. So yeah, man, it's like very little will come out of this. The only reason why this blew over is because there was a whistleblower.
Right.
Had that not been the case, none of this would have happened.
Right.
No, there was somebody at the White Sox that just got signed and he was in trouble for it too.
Yeah. So I mean, that was
for the record,
Keuchel.
Yeah, Keuchel.
For the record, Beltran, they reached an agreement to him to stand down.
Mutually part ways. Yeah.
It wasn't like you know, he was fired or suspended or anything like that.
Yeah.
It was because again, his name came up, but it really didn't show much of his involvement. You know, so it was a decision to not bring bad publicity to his first managing job, and you know, so you know, it was a smart decision.
I mean,
the
Mets, just like the Red Sox, they were put in a very tough spot because one, you guys play in two of the biggest markets in sports.
Right.
You don't want to go into the season with all these distractions.
Every announcer is constantly talking about it.
You know, the media in New York and Boston, they're ruthless.
Yeah.
Everybody knows this. You had to cut ways with that. Try to find a way to complete our coaching staff within the next 3 weeks, and then just try to turn a new leaf and go into pitchers and catchers again. Like you said, a lot of things are going to come away from this, and hopefully, you know, we'll be able to sit down again and talk about what comes after.
Yeah. This is Rob Manfred's. You know, this is his scandal. This is his scandal.
Yeah.
Selig had his.
Right.
This is his mess. This is
and
his stuff.
This is what
We
makes
gotta see
and
how he
breaks.
has to handle it.
Right. This is what makes and breaks the commissioners, how they handle these situations.
Yeah.
You know, because remember Goodell went through it, and they were like, "Oh, he's being nice to the Patriots." Is he? You know, so this is how you show that you are not. You know, you are of the people. You manage and maintain the checks and balances,
and also that as a commissioner, you care about the integrity of the game, of the game, You know, because it's bigger than that. Like the same thing. A lot of players are coming out and you know they're pointing fingers at Mike Fiers for being the whistleblowers because sports as an organization, like you know the MLB. It's basically like they have that frat party mentality,
right? Yeah.
You know, like why would you come out there and talk?
Like, dude, we wasn't saying.
You know, it's like
we all knew, but
so it's like why would you come out here and talk? Why would you go out there and say that? You know, he's being pointed at for talking, right? And it's the same thing we totally talked about.
It's like the NYPD and the Blue Wall, and, you know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, you supposed to hold us down, like, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, he has his reasons.
It's all about a lot of people put the integrity of the game above everything else, and I mean, we'll see what Manfred does. This is his mess to work himself out of.
Right.
He was the commissioner in charge when the whole technology was implemented. So now that has been exploited, where do you go from here? As if you're MLB, if you're the umpires union, like where do you go from here?
Right.
What happens in the next collective bargaining agreement? That does anything get implemented as soon as this year?
Right.
To prevent something like this from happening again. It's a lot of questions that are meant to be answered, and you know I'm just waiting for the report to come out because that's gonna message. Get him out of here.
The conversation continues.
Get him out of here.
We will talk about it more if if anything else more comes out of it.
We'll make sure to talk about it.
Yeah. Jared, always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure being here, man. I'm happy to see Gus, man.
Word up, Gus. Been a minute.
It's been a while.
Glad you can come through.
Yes, sir.
Give us that baseball knowledge.
Let's do this again, man.
For sure. I mean, like I said, we're holding y'all to y'all Super Bowl picks.
Absolutely.
We're gonna have some more fun this year. 2020. We're gonna definitely get some more conversations in and get you a part of.
Manfred, investigate the Yankees, bro.
No, we good.
Whoa, we good.
We good. I'm gonna edit that part out. Okay.
Get him out of here.
Not sensitive.
Get him off the field.
Blur his whole now.
Get this man off the field.
We not going. No. Even though I mean, there has been some history for the Yankees of doing some stuff too. They have like a lot of teams have done some form of. This is the first time really the technology is being used in it, and you know what I'm saying. But everyone has done some stealing signs and. You know what I mean? That's why they went to the whole sign language.
They was talking about
I mean, the 51 World Series, my bad to cut you off, when Willie Mays made that catch, there was a lot of talk that was also, there was a lot of sign stealing by the Giants. And yeah, man, this has been going on in baseball for a while.
It's the fucking Royals and George Brett.
George Brett was out here bugging out with the pine tar. It's been happening for a while, man. It's just now, let's see if Manfred is strong enough to do this. And what I personally would like to see out of this, I want to see more security in the dugouts. Make sure that Major League Baseball personnel in the dugouts make sure that there's no iPads or surfaces being used.
Even it's funny that you say that because the NFL have surfaces, and they literally. And I was having this conversation with a coworker of mine, and it was like. It's like the exact opposite in football. You, as a quarterback, the second you come off the field, they got printouts and pictures, surface tablets, like, You know what I'm saying? So not that they're stealing signs, but you're literally seeing the defensive formations, and the way they line up, and you're getting, so that's part of the game.
Yeah.
In baseball, it's
not.
It's not. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like
especially like to this, like to this extent.
Yeah.
Like again, like I stress so much. Literally knowing what pitch is coming, bro, it's a huge advantage to the batter. And this is not just one hitter that has the advantage.
That's the access to
the whole team has the advantage.
If you're banging and everyone knows what that means, everyone, even the worst batter, still gets a little boost up because he knows what's coming. It's on him to hit it or lay off of it. But so half the battle is
it's like steroids,
right. You still gotta have some form of you gotta have some skill set.
Yeah,
you have to have some skill set.
Yeah, you still have to hit it, but knowing that you have a changeup or a curveball coming,
the timing. I can wait on it.
Because naturally, as a hitter, you're out there expecting fastball, and you react to off speed.
Right.
There are certain hitters that go out there, they do the opposite. They are sitting on off speed, reacting to fastballs. So now, if I'm a pitcher and I rely on a fastball and changeup, I'm a reliever. I'm a two-trick pony. So I am literally going to sit there and I'm going to go up against the middle of the lineup, and you got Springer, Altuve, and Gurriel coming 1, 3, 4, and 5.
Right.
And I have two pitches, and I have. Shit. It's gone. It's gone. Like this guy only throws a changeup.
That's it.
I know.
Ball every time.
I'm like,
come on, you heard that shit,
right? I already know not to get tricked because I know it's not a fastball. So if I see that it's slow in the zone, I'm not expecting this to try to catch the part of the plate because it's probably going to sink. And drop. So it's a huge advantage to the hitter, man. And it's like, I want to see. I have nothing against the Astros. I want to see.
We do.
I want to see the players involved suspended.
Yes, I think actually taking for them, but I think they have to prove. I think the management side of it, I guess, was an easy out because again they're not in the players' union,
right?
So they can get them easy. But with the players, there's bylaws, so they have
to. Lawsuits are going to come from that. There's going to be a lot of appeals going on, so not much is going to happen, but there needs to be a system to prevent this from happening again. Especially because, bro, we're only in the year 2020. As technology advances, there's going to be other people that are going to exploit those
holograms.
What do you do? Like, you're literally going to be sitting in the dugout, you're going to be taking a leak, you're going to have Android Altuve involved. Like, how do you prevent the next thing from happening? Like, baseball kind of has learned from their past mistakes. I say kind of because back to Scott Brosius' son. He's naming some pretty big names out there as players are using HGH, and apparently there's a protocol in baseball for players that need the human growth hormone for medical purposes. They're allowed to use it. So it's like I
got a doctor's note.
It's like, what do you blur the line? It's crazy, man. I want to see some resolution to this. Hopefully before the season. I don't want anything like this to happen in the middle of the season because it's just gonna look bad because you had a whole off season to investigate this and come to terms with what's happening. You still have about 2 months before the season starts. Something needs to come out of this because I'm even tilting towards the whole removing vacating the World Series championship. As long as the Yankees have to rescind their 3 that they won by steroids.
Again, he's saying too much. We gotta wrap this up. I'm running out of film.
Put that for the side.
No, we good.
Run out of side.
Run out of film. There was.
I'm running out of film.
The camera just stopped. This is crazy. Like Epstein's cell. The camera just stopped recording that part. I didn't catch what you said, but we out of here.
We going on a loop.
Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for listening. Holla at y'all next week. Later.
Take that championship away.
No, we good.
Shh.